Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. I guess that we need to wait for some more minutes and for other participants, and then we are going to start. So I'm really happy to welcome you here today. Thank you very much for finding time on this hot summer day, joining us today in order to continue your professional development, to find out some new ideas, some new knowledge. And I hope our webinar will meet your expectations. And also, I'd be very happy if you're active, if you participate, if you answer my questions, ask questions. And also, that is a bit different mode of the webinar. Today, I'm going to present our topic, which is understanding vocabulary in context. And also, I have included your questions. And I believe that we all can work together in order to find the best answers for the questions that you've got. And of course, if you like this mode of the webinar, I guess that we can continue it next time as well. But anyway, welcome everyone who has just joined. My name is Diana Golovan. I'm an NLT consultant for Linguist Company. And today I am going to talk to you about vocabulary in context. We're going to look mainly at upper intermediate and advanced students, but I think that the ideas presented in the webinar are great and to work with lower levels. Now, how to communicate? You can see the question mark on the right of your screen. So try to type there your name, to tell where are you from. And I see lots of people have already done that. Great. So let's check which parts of Ukraine are today with us. We have Skadovsk, Lviv, Rivne, Chernigiv Oblast, 𝗧cie𝗽𝗶𝗰, Lviv again, Moldova, Kiev, Vinnytsia. Hi everyone, Ivano-Frankivsk, Ternopil, Chernivtsi, Lugansk, Stanica Luganska, Sumy. Right, welcome everyone. Bucha here, hello, hello Anna. Kherson, Romny, Zastava, wonderful. Ternopil region, Mariupol, Novoukrayinka, I guess, Chernigiv, even Minsk today with us. Welcome, Kharkiv, Kolomyia, great. So I am so happy to see so many teachers from all parts of Ukraine, and not only Ukraine, but other countries as well. Wonderful. So, right, and more teachers are joining us from Zakarpattia, from Kirovograd, from Zhovkva, Zhytomyr. Wonderful. So, what is our plan for today? Today we are going to look at advanced learners, their needs, what they need, what they need at the lessons, how we can help them to study English. Also, there are going to be examples of activities, how to teach the vocabulary in context, and I tried to make these examples practical, so we'll be ready to have a kind of a lesson today, or parts of the lesson, something like that. And then we're going to move to your questions that you had a chance to leave for me before the webinar. Thank you very much, by the way, for being active, for asking questions. Some of the questions will be provided with examples. For some of the questions, examples will be provided, and some of the questions will be for our discussion. And I believe that you will join the discussion, because sometimes this communication between the colleagues is the best way to find out the best solution, because when we teach us, we know that our students are different, and there is no one medicine for everyone that will suit all the teachers, right? So sharing experience is one of the way to develop professionally. Wow. Certificates, right? You are always asking about certificates. We are going to provide them to you. The certificates are sent automatically. You will receive them to the email that you've registered, and the email that you logged in with. So if you, for some reasons, registered several emails, so remember please which one you used to log into the webinar. That is the email where you will receive your certificate. Also, it is automatically, so it could take from 1 up to 7 days. That is the system, how it works. Also, a little bit of reminder: when you register, double check the way you spelled your name and last name, because that is something that we can't correct after you finished your registration. You will receive the thank you email. It looks somehow like that, and if you scroll down, don't do it very fast, because there are useful links for articles, for recordings, and even there are going to be 2 video lessons with 𝗧cie𝗽𝗶𝗰. So be very attentive where it is. So there is among one of the links that we have prepared to you. And then at the very, very bottom of your email, you will get this button, My Certificate. If you press it, then you tap Opens, and you can download it. That is how you can receive your certificate. But it's going to be after the webinar, within 1 or up to 7 days. Let me tell you a bit about our publishing house, National Geographic Learning. The slogan of this publishing house is bringing the world to the classroom and the classroom to life. They support this idea in every material, in everything that they do. How they do it? First of all, wonderful real-life photography. Stunning photos and videos by National Geographic is the thing that accompanies each series of our textbooks, and also the topics. The topics are up to date, they are age and level appropriate, but in any case, there would be something that your learners will find interesting, that will inspire them to speak more, to share their ideas, and to develop as well. The photo will bring the world into your classroom. It means that you will be able to get acquainted with different cultures, with different cities, with different people, and it's a great way to use photography in your classroom. Lots of our learners are visual learners, right? That's why it's very important to support their need with the great material, which are accompanied all our books. And of course, not only photos and videos are something that help National Geographic Learning deliver the knowledge. The books are full of great texts about real-life problems. If it is a skill development, it is based on some real-life material as well. you can find lots of modal texts, lots of nice listening activities that will not only help you develop students' skills, but also engage them. They will forget that English is just the subject. They will be interested in the topic itself, and they will need English in order to talk about this topic, in order to investigate it. That's how we think we can motivate our students. The vocabulary, the grammar, everything is up to date and presented in modern ways, right? They use context in to give some grammar rules to show how vocabulary works. So if you haven't done it yet, visit our website. Here we have the catalog where you can find the category that you need, that you're interested in, and look through the books. Probably there is a book that is waiting for you, like your ideal book. The name of our site, the address of our site is at the very bottom of the screen. I'm going to show it to you now. So linguist.ngl.com.ua. So as the webinar finishes, don't hesitate, but do not hesitate, but visit it. And also one like pleasant news is about one of our methodological book, Critical Thinking in ELT, a working model for the classroom. This is the great book for like must-have for every teacher that teaches us how to turn any activity into one that develops critical and creative thinking, that help us motivate students and awaken their interest in language learning. And this book is among the finalists of 2020 EL Ton's Innovation Awards in the category Innovation in Teachers' Resources. Here you can see the QR code, you can scan it and read more about the book and probably even purchase it. It's available on our Linguist site. Linguist is the official representative of National Geographic Learning in Ukraine. And also the Booklink network is also the one that sells the books for individual teachers, for individual customers. So please visit the sites or the shops and get acquainted with our publishing house. I guess now we can start. Advanced level students. What do they need? Now I would like you to remember where this question mark button is and give me your ideas. When we teach advanced students, when I say advanced students, I mean the ones who have higher levels of proficiency, B2 level, C1 level, even probably C2 level. What, to your mind, what they need? Extensive vocabulary. Right. They need fluency. When we say fluency, do we consider which situations, for what they need it? They need sophisticated vocabulary and ways of saying things. They need vocabulary, they need speaking, they need some sophisticated grammar, grammar structures, that's right, to express their thoughts clearly. They need to pass the exam, right? That could be one of the aims why you have this or that group of students, right? They are preparing for advanced exam. collocation, phrasal verbs, grammar structures, not individual words, but chunks. They need interaction, of course. They need to have 21st century skills, soft and hard skills, sure. Grammar accuracy and fluency. They need to study it for purpose, right? For work, for traveling, for exam. Right. Differentiate registers, and that is very important. You're right. That is when we need to focus on it very closely. They need speaking, sure. The most important reason why they start learning English. That's right. Yes. We need to use the language, right? Not just to know all the rules or maybe all the words. Enough practice. Right. Thank you very much. Let's have a look at CEFR scale when we talk about advanced level, C1 level. What our learners are expected to be able to do. First of all, understand the wide range of more demanding, longer texts and recognize implicit meaning in them, right? So now here we talk about the number of topics. They should be able to understand the texts not only on the everyday topics, but also on some more official, probably, right, more scientific topics. They can express fluently and spontaneously without much obvious searching for the right expression. Next, they can use language flexibly and effectively for social, academic, and professional purposes. They can produce clear, well-structured, detailed text on complex subjects, showing correct use of organizational patterns, connectors, and cohesive devices. That are the important things. That is what we should bear in mind when we have a group of advanced students. They need this fluency. They need to be able to talk spontaneously on almost every topic. They need to understand a wide range of texts and organize their thoughts in order to discuss the text or express their opinion, right? Not only every day, but also, as you can see here, social, academic, and professional purposes. So when you have a group of advanced students, it's very important to find out what topics they need in their real life, right? If it's not about exam preparation, if it's about life preparation, it's better to focus on those things that are among your students' interests. Not only on them, but mainly, right? Because that is why they come to you, right? In order to study language, to be able to use at their work, at their everyday life, and so on. Okay. Can you tell me if you can see my screen? Because some people are writing that there are some problems with screen sharing. Now I can, so there were probably some problems. Good. It's fine. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for answering. So now you can, if you had the troubles before, now you can have a look at this scale. What our students should be able to do in order to get this advanced level. Okay, thank you. Thank you for answering. So let's move on. We teachers, how can we help them speak fluently and express spontaneously? That is an just a thought. Yeah, that we can't learn all the words. It's impossible, right, to just to know all the words in the language. But what we can do is we can learn how to use the context to get necessary information. That is one of the real life needs, right? When we are somewhere without great internet connection or without a vocabulary, we still need to be able to understand what is going on, what we are reading about, what the person is talking about. So very good skill is to know how to use the context. Let's look what we can, what as teachers we can do. First of all, the context, what it is. According to Merriam-Webster dictionary, the parts of a discourse that surround a word of a message and can throw light on its meaning. Right? I think it's very short but clear explanation what the context is. So what we need in order to understand the word that we don't know, we need to use the information that is around the word, right? As teachers, what we can do, how to do that? First of all, it's a good idea to relate the words to the topic, right? What I mean is that if you are going to read a text about politics, for example, right? It's a good, first of all, to elicit some words that can match the title or the picture or the story of the news article or whatever you're going to read. In this case, we will help our students to focus on this very part of vocabulary, right? Also, we know that there are, so if we understand the topic of the text, it means that our thoughts will be in this way, right? So it will be easier for us not to search through all the topics, everything, right? But we are going to search in the direction. So we help students to get the direction, where to look for the words, where to try to understand the meaning of the words. Also, what we need to do? Not just explanation of the words, right? But we also need some more information about the word. What part of speech it is? Does it have positive or negative meaning, for example? Category, again, it's going back to point number 1, yeah, words to the topic. So when we ask these questions, we will help students to make the conclusion, right? And to see how the word, not just separately, right, but in the context. Also, good idea, especially for advanced students who have a wide range of vocabulary, who know lots of things, we can ask them or teach them to ask us questions about the word, not just what does this word mean, but they can ask us questions in order to figure out the meaning. They can ask us, is it a positive or negative word, right? Does it describe, if it is a verb, right? Does it describe actions or maybe states, yeah, something like that. So first we step 2, yeah, ask questions about the words. By doing this, we help our students to manipulate with the language, to investigate the language, and then we switch the activity, and now we ask students to do that. It will help to develop these thinking skills, and when they are outside the classroom, when they don't have support as the teacher, they will still have this habit of asking questions, of investigating the words. Now, first of all, I'm going to read some of your comments. you are talking about practical situations, right? When it's better to give students something that touches their experience, right? Support with vocabulary and information. That's right. Good. And now we are going to look at the text and see how to do that. What all this theory we are going to put into practice. But I would like to have this webinar a bit more practical. So for this, you need to go to the site Mentimeter. If you are, it's not the first time when you visit our webinars, you could probably notice that I always use it. You can use Open It on your mobile phone, or probably if you're from laptop or computer, you can just open the new tab. So what you need? You go to the site that is called menti.com, and it will ask you to enter the code. That is it, 544504. Today the code is like that. So again, I'm going to highlight you, right? Why we do that? In this case, you will get an opportunity to write comments so everyone could see it and probably react to other people's comments. So in this case, we will get this kind of interaction, which is, to my mind, more effective than just asking questions to the teacher. Yeah, when we can collaborate, cooperate. If you don't want to participate, it's also okay. I understand. It's Friday, it's July after all. So let's wait for some more minutes. And while we are doing that, so some people are even giving me the hearts. So I can see that there are some participants in our today imaginary lesson. Well, so first, let's get acquainted with the text. What you need to do is to look through the text. It's very small. It's not even the article, it's preview of the article. So look through this preview and choose the picture which suits this text best. So that is a little task for you. I guess that we need about 1 minute to do that, right? Something happens. And also what you can do is to type the answer right in this Menti application. You can type answers to me, to our question box at the webinar, or do it right away. For example, here we have picture 4. Just 4. And all the examples today are taken from Outcomes 2nd edition advanced level, which means, so if you have already worked with this textbook, then please enjoy, or you can just get acquainted with the book. Set picture, picture 4, picture 3 again. Great. So what the situation is? We have a Scottish woman who has lost her case against a landowner or owner, right? Because what was the problem? Some birds, yeah, a seagull, attacked her, and the steps were not in a good condition, so that's why she stumbled, right? And what happened? Her case wasn't satisfied because actually there were no strong evidence, right? Okay, lots of you so there are none. Well done. So yeah, according to yeah, that is picture 4. Well done. So, but today our focus is in these highlighted black words. First one is negligent, right? Probably our students don't know this word, but to help them understand the meaning, we can prepare some questions like, what part of speech it is, right? And here we will see that that is an adjective, right? We can give some more examples, yeah. What other adjectives can be used in this case, for example, in order to see why adjective, right? What is before, what is after, and so on. Do you know any similar words? Right? Doesn't mean synonyms, yeah, but some words that have the same root, yeah. So that is neglect. Probably our students know this word. So then we can refer to it and ask if it has positive or negative meaning, right? Actually, negative, right? We even have this beginning neglect, yeah, which somehow shows us that this is negative. And then we work with the words around this word. Who is negligent in this article? Yeah. Lawyers, Kelly, or actually owners of the business center. Yeah, the owners, right? Why? For not maintaining the property, right? So we have discovered everything around the word. Now the meaning is quite clear for us. Yeah, we have some similar word. We know that it's negative. We know what is it about and why we use this word, right? So in this case, we can figure out the meaning. And okay, thank you for your answers. So if it is very small, probably you are doing this from your phone. Maybe you can look again at your laptop screen, so it is a bit bigger, yeah, or make the tab bigger. In this case, you will be able to look the text better, to see the text better. Good. Now let's do next one. The next word is damages. Probably in this, like here, as it is stated here, our students see this word for the first time, right? And we would like to help them to construct the meaning, to figure out the meaning. What questions will we ask them? Here, I would like to see your ideas. Honors, thank you very much. So imagine that now we are preparing for the lesson. We try to think how to help our students understand the meaning of the words. In this case, we need to prepare some good questions to help them to work with the context and understand the meaning of this word. What similar words do you know? Some people write to me. What's part of speech? Is it synonyms, right? How much? Yeah, so there are some figures, some money sums, right? That's how we can, what we can refer to, right? So it deals with money. So what can it be? What part of speech it is? Great. Well done. What else? What are your associations with this word? Yeah, so probably they know the word damage as to damage the building, to damage a subject, right? So something bad, right? Does it have positive or negative meaning? Again, well done. Great. What happens when there is a hurricane or some natural disaster? What it was is ruined. That's right, we can remind them of the word damage, as they have probably studied before. Why is it in a plural form? Right, so we focus them on some unusual things about the word. We all know damage as a verb, yeah, or probably damage as the noun, but uncountable. But here we have damages. It's interesting. Why do you think it is? Right. So it's a very good question. By doing this, we help them to focus on form and try to match forms with the meaning combined. Right. Great. It's wonderful that you are very active. What can be damaged? Yeah, sure. How can you say that in other words? Right. Yeah. So try to use the context, right, and to retell it with your own words. Yeah, and this way we help them to develop their speaking skills and also vocabulary, and we teach them not to be afraid of not knowing the word. We teach them to use the language, to use what they have already known in order to help them. Thank you very much. Great, wonderful ideas. I like them. Excellent. So, yeah, some ideas. What types of speech is it? Do you know any similar words? What type of words are there before and after the word? Yeah, some nouns. Yeah, in this case, we can refer to this association, explain, giving synonyms. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, wonderful. And the last one. Here we have dismissed on the ground. Again, let's prepare our lesson and let's prepare questions that will help us to help students to understand the topic. So here we even have the expression, and important thing is not to focus firstly, not to focus on separate words, but probably on the meaning of the whole expression, right? It's according to lexical approach and according to experience of teaching advanced students, if we can confuse them, we can give them some not necessary information. Again, we don't need to know all the words, yeah, but we need to know how to understand unknown words and how the words work together. So it's better to focus on the expression, on the whole phrase, not on the separate words. Is it possible to see what other participants are writing? If it's very interesting question from Ludmila. I'm very sorry, Ludmila, about Ukrainian translation. Probably there are some settings in your browser. You need to find out the settings and maybe to turn off auto translation. That is the only thing that comes to my mind. So try to do that. Also, is it possible to see what other participants are writing? If you're writing it in our chat box in webinar room, and no, it's only me. It's the person who can see it. It's just how this platform works. But for this reason, for you to see other people's answers, you can go to menti.com and join our discussion. In this way, you will be able to look through other people's answers, and also I present them on the screen right now. Again, associations, explain given synonyms. Wonderful. Is it the same as ruin? We still have questions about damages, I guess. How to prove that something has happened? Do you know any similar expressions? Maybe yes, but did the court continue with the case or stopped resolving it? Yeah, so here we ask some questions that they can find the answer in the text, right? For which they can find the answers in the text. Wonderful. We put them into the necessary path, right, to understand the meaning. Great. Students, what is your idea about this expression? Okay, to my mind, it's a bit of a general question. Of course, it's a great way to brainstorm. So if we think it's difficult, we can start from this. Yeah, we can elicit all ideas without saying that is a good or bad idea. Yeah, just brainstorm them, put them on the board, and then ask your students to work with this, right? Maybe you can, as a teacher, you can do some tricks. If you hear the idea that is good, that is correct, you put it on one part of your board. If it's an idea that actually wrong, you put it on another part of the board, and you, in this way, you will help your students to see where instruction goes, but you don't tell in advance that this is the wrong part, that is the correct part of the board, right? You just do it. And after that, you can even ask them, why do you think I put these your ideas in 2 columns? Right? Something like that. Antonym, yeah, you can write. What does it have positive or negative meaning? Associations. Great. But again, if I would pay the attention to the word dismissed. Yeah, that's right. We can do that. Why not? It's the main word here, actually, right? But again, it's better to look at all the expression as it works. And again, to my mind, it's better to focus on the context, right? We try to teach them how to use the context in order to understand words, not to understand the word by asking questions. We can do it in some other activities. When we want to teach them how to use context, it's better to use the context and focus their attention. Yeah, here we talk about a woman. Did she win the case? Why? What was the reason why she didn't do that? Yeah. So we can see that there were 30,000 pounds, now just 7,000 pounds. Something went wrong, right? So did she win? Why not, right? In this case, we help them. Thank you very much for your participation. Great, thank you. For now, I would like to move on, and we don't need this Menti right now. Let's move to our presentation. And when we figured when we help students to understand the meaning, of course, they need to practice it. They will work with the text some more times, and they will practice the words. Also, it's a good idea to give own examples, and you wrote to me in your answers these ideas that try to use this word in a sentence, right? That is how we can practice it. If students use them in the sentence, that is a sentence probably that is close to them. In this case, they will remember it much better. Here we have your question that you've asked me after or during the registration. And of course, first of all, that are the questions that are connected to our topic. What we've discussed here is how to use context in order to help students to understand the meaning of the word, right? There were some interesting questions, and it's not only the only person who asked it. There were several of you who've done that. What are the options for enriching vocabulary of adults apart from reading? Which modern resources contain text for advanced reading? How can a teacher use them? So let's have a look about this enriching vocabulary in general and using context. So what do we need to teach our students? These are some collocations, right? Not isolated words, but a part of a phrase, and teach them how to use it as a whole, right? Of course, we would like to explain everything, how the words are connected, but sometimes our students don't have time to study everything. They need just like ready-made recipe how to use the language. This is why we teach them collocations. They don't need to know all separate meanings. They need to know the meaning of the phrase and how to use it. Yeah, some examples where to use it. For example, we can explain the word huge as very big, or we can give them just this phrase, I am a huge fan of. Yeah, that is what we very often use, right? Of course, this is an example not for advanced students, right? But it's just to illustrate what we are talking here today about. Let's practice. Let's practice for some collocations. Look at all these 4 phrases and think of one word that collocates with each. Here I have a question, why not to do matching activity? Yeah, why not to do matching activity to practice meaning word and its meaning? For sure. Paraphrase of sentence, yeah, that is important. Olga, here we have about joining the discussion. I've closed Mentimeter, so you can't do it now. You can type me questions here in the question box. I will see it. Wonderful. I see some people have already found out what the word is. So that is only one word that matches all of the phrases. That is another way to enrich students' vocabulary. For example, you are reading the text, you would like to teach them some words. So you can choose 1 or 2 words and find out some more collocations with that. Prepare it to your students in this way, for example, right? You write it on the board with gaps and think, ask your students to think what is the word. It's one of task exams for advanced exam, Cambridge Advanced, I mean, and also that is a great way to enrich vocabulary, right? They will remember the whole set of the phrases using one word. Yeah, I have already seen the answers. And the correct one is figure. Yeah, we can say prominent figure in the anti-war movement, a hate figure, to be seen as a figure of fun, a very influential figure. The word figure actually quite easy, yeah? So for advanced students, nothing to study. But to know in which phrases this simple word is used, and not to know not one word, but several words, will show a set of words. Will show to our students that there is, first of all, there is still something to study about English. They are not, they still have the space to grow. So they will see this motivation. Okay, I need to remember that it's a very good expressions, right? And if they remember this set of words, they will have some associations. Even this separate category where they and it will enforce their learning, and they will remember much more, right? Not separate words as a list of words, but these sets. Great, let's move on. Here again, find the common word. You can see, yeah, if you're attentive, you can see that it is taken from unit number 4, politics. So the words are connected to the topic politics. Yeah. Any ideas? Okay, and here I've already seen a correct answer. Great. Vote. Great. Anyway, thanks everyone for participating. If you are active, it helps you to remember better, right? You have some guesses. After that, you can compare them to correct answers. You are more involved in the activity. So always remind this to your students and encourage them to participate. They will participate if they know that they won't be judged for their guessings, right? Yeah, it doesn't hurt to try, a man says, right? So use it, right? No criticizing, just eliciting, and after that providing the correct answer. It could be like a slight competition if your group is competitive, or it can be just like don't know, a fair of creativity in your classroom. So in this way, your students will learn how to feel the language, not just to study it from the books. Good. So we have done that. We have provided students with some useful collocations. For example, they have this figure for expressions with figure, vote for expressions with vote. What's next? How to practice these expressions? What can we do? Not just give them, okay, now you can write them down and remember next time we are going to have dictation. Yeah, for some time it can work. For some groups it can work. But it's not the only way. It's okay to fail. First attempt is learning. That's right. So what would you do with these expressions to help students remember them? A short story with these collocations. Great. Make a conversation. Yeah, use them, right? Very good ideas. But what I would like to focus here is that we are talking about advanced students, the ones who have already have big luggage of knowledge. Probably they can find it a bit demotivative if they don't study some new information. Probably some of them have already known this phrase like anonymous vote or hate figure, whatever. So we refer to their personality. We to their to each individual learner. We ask them to find out the new phrases for them. In this case, we will underline that, yes, you're language experts, almost language experts. You know a lot, but find something that is new for you. Don't focus on the things that you've already known, right? Find these several new phrases. If there are like 2 words, it's all right. But if there are 7 words and lots of collocations, ask them to underline up to 7, which is like memory slot, right? Up to 7 that they will find useful. They will feel that they study the language that they need. In this case, they won't lose the motivation. Do some research. Yeah, it's not the only collocation with the word. Maybe it could be done as a homework or in discussions. Find out more words, how they can do it. First of all, there are some collocations references in on the internet or vocabulary dictionaries with the collocations. Another thing is to use the context. Maybe they can look through some internet pages, look through articles, find out some expressions with figure, and then check with the dictionary if it is the collocation. So they need to research for some phrases from the sources, and then check if they are real, if it's not some like translation or misunderstanding. Again, we focus on context, we focus on collocation, and we make our students active learners, which is very important. Let's move on. Yeah, for example, it can be a leading figure, a historical figure, win, lose vote, split the vote. Another way to work with collocations is to talk about them. Here, for example, we have an example of using collocations connected to the health. Discuss why the following actions might happen. When your mind drifts or wanders. When your mind starts to race. In which situation? We add this personal touch to our students. In this way, the students will focus on them. They will remember these phrases. They won't need to just study them by heart. They will use them in their conversation, in their discussions, and by doing this, they will figure out how these words work in real life. If I remember that my heart, for example, beats fast when I am alone in the dark forest, right? I will remember that. Yeah, I will have this picture. I will have this association, right? You can do it with different collocation, not just with these ones, right? You will see some more examples a bit later. Also, what they need to study, they need to understand how the word formation, right? How to form verbs from nouns and adjectives, how to form adjectives, how to spell adjectives, by the way, how to make these phrasal verbs, noun from phrasal verbs, which could be new to our students, because probably this verb and adjectives, suffixes, prefixes could be taught on the previous levels, but for upper level students, the last one could be a bit easier. For example, what can this word mean? Bypass. They want to build a bypass to reduce traffic coming through the center. Yeah, the context is quite clear. The word is new for them, but they can understand the meaning using the context. Yeah. Bypass is a road that goes around a town or a city, so traffic doesn't have to go through the center, right? Another is cover up. There was a big cover up to stop the public finding out about it. What cover up can mean? You ask them, you can ask them some questions as we have practiced before. So, for example, why do you think we need to stop the public to find out some situation? Who usually does that? Who can cover the situation, stop the public finding out about some situations? Why? Yeah, something like that. Can you, do you have any ideas again? Yes, so that is an attempt to stop people from discovering the truth about something, especially a crime or serious mistake. How to practice these expressions? We already talked about using them in a sentence, about making dialogues, about asking questions to each other. And here they suggest to talk about true examples of these words. These words are something that I guess in each group they will find something to talk about, right? So why don't we use it? If we know that these collocations, these expressions, these words can help us to facilitate great discussions, we can ask them, think about your country, your city, when it happens, does it have, and so on and so forth. Very quickly, ways to sound naturally. Also, what our advanced students need. They need to know some phrases that help them to emphasize and exaggerate information, like it's like a Buckingham Palace. That is an expression that we can use. We can see when, in which situations we can use it, right? What else? What can help us make students sound naturally? Using some binomials, yeah? Thick and tired, doom and gloom, and there are many of them. Metaphors. A huge army of, tight battle, invasion of privacy. Using synonyms, right? And also, what is important is to remember some expressions to explain this difference in which situation you will use this or that synonym. For example, we are talking about danger, risk, threat, and so on. Here we have the word peril. If you've used Outcome, second edition, you probably know about the site that accompanies the book. And here you have interactive vocabulary builder and a program that contains all necessary words that are in the level. You can, both teachers and students have it in their accounts. So you can look for the word and you see that there is a great explanation of the word, not just one example. You can find here like the word profile, the transcription, what it means, which part of speech is it, collocations, examples, words that are connected. Yeah, we have peril, we have perilous, we have perilously, in peril, and so on. Examples again of this. So lots of things that can help our students discover new things about the language. And of course, we can, again, if you look at this exercise, you can see that here they need to find out which word is correct. But how to do that? You don't need just to know the slight differences in the meaning, but what you need to know also is how the words collocate. For example, you can ignore something at your peril, not at your danger. Yeah, you can be under threat, not under danger again. You can put somebody at risk. Yeah, if we have the word at, it collocates put at risk, not at danger again. Yeah, but we can say in danger. And we focus our students on these little parts. So we start small. First of all, let's understand the meaning. Second, let's find the correct word. Next, let's find which word collocates, what help us understand the correct word. That is what advanced students need. Understanding these differences, these very slight differences in meaning, right? You can discuss questions. You can put the words that you would like to practice in some thought-provoking discussions and practice them with your students. Books worth working with while preparing for exams in general books. I'd like to talk a bit more about outcome second edition. All the examples were taken from there. So if you feel that you really need to help your students sound like native speakers, use great expressions and be able to talk in different situations when they are abroad, when they are at work. Have a look at this series, Outcome Second Edition. All the topics are really up to date. They are interesting. They are worth talking about. It's not something that your students found in their previous book, for example. Also, it aims to adults or students, so the topics are appropriate to that group of students. Not just talking about buying things, about ordering things in the restaurant and so on and so forth. They will practice how to make small talks, how to give presentations, how to prepare great speeches and so on. And together with that, they will practice grammar and also they will have lots of examples of these useful language chunks, language collocations, phrases, idioms, and many other things. And all of them are practiced. You can look at the site for some additional activities, for lots of games with the units. You have this online vocabulary builder, which also has test mode, so you can practice it together, or your students can do it at home. So you are not just given the great amount of great words, but also you are given the practice of these words. Revision process. What I'm talking about here is this test, your vocabulary application. You have the word. For example, I've created the list for our webinar and I would like to test your vocabulary. So someone who is one of the most important people in their field of work and is well known and successful. Not the only way to test your vocabulary. You can see here that we can also see some examples. It means that if we don't remember the explanation, we can probably remember this word in the context. It's very important. First of all, we support our students. If they find it difficult, they have additional help, and they will remember how to use the word not separately, but what expression they have in order to use that word. more questions, I'd like to continue our discussions. Probably we are going to make some session maybe at the end of the summer, because there were really interesting words about motivations, about teaching advanced students. So I guess that we are going to have a bit more we will get a chance to talk a bit more. We have just 1 hour, which we run out of actually. So to sum up, teaching words in the context, not just words, not just texts, right? If we talk about text, we need to teach our students how to use this text in order to understand words. We need to ask them questions so they can figure out the meaning, and we can ask them to ask questions to us or to their peers. We need to teach our students collocations to show them how words work together. We don't need to forget about this word formation, about examples, about personalization, using the new language in the situations that are close to our students. And if you work with Outcome second edition, please try this vocabulary builder. It's really great. It saves your time because you can do quick test, quick revision for your students, and together with online, there are also options to print out the vocabulary cards and work with them with your students. Some more things from our National Geographic Learning Publishing House. Check our sales. There are some great books that you can buy for really great prices. The prices on the site are without a discount, so you need to contact your manager in order to find out how much it costs. So you can see that there are some exam preparation books with up to 70% discount. Lots of learning materials, readers, skills books, methodological books are also at the discount. So check our sites, and probably you will find a very good deal for yourself. Today I was talking about Outcome second edition, which help our students to increase their vocabulary. But that are not the only series that National Geographic Learning provides for adult students. We also have Live second edition, which is great for IELTS preparation and for students who like to discuss topics like global topics. If your students need a very fast and efficient way, they are like business people, pay attention to Keynote, which uses TED Talks and different infographics and interesting articles in order to develop our students' knowledge. Also, another option is to find this 21st century series, 21st century reading and 21st century communication. They don't contain any grammar, but they will develop your students' listening, reading skills, speaking skills, vocabulary, and critical thinking, which is very important. So your students will be able to practice their language together with great speakers from all over the world. For those who use summer for professional development, I'd like to remind about our training center, Linguist, which provides great programs for professional development for teenagers, for teaching kids. So that is a whole program that contain 30 hours of studying. And also there are lots of webinars and seminars that you can visit in order to have some inspiration, to network, to find out what is new in the teaching field. And if you haven't done it yet, there is one more summer school too that starts on the 1st of August in Yaramcha. For 5 days, you are going to study how to teach English, to network, to have great free time after lunch, and to enjoy the nature. So follow this link, training.linguist.ua, to find out about this training program. Again, you will receive your certificate within a week. If you haven't done it yet, please join our network, our Facebook pages, Linguist Company, to find out about all the news, and our National Geographic Learning Ukraine Facebook page to find out the news from our publishing house. Again, a quick guide how to get your certificate. And if you still have any questions, any comments, any suggestions, let's keep in touch. That would be interesting for me to find out, to give you some presentation to help you to work with our books, so you can use the phone or Viber in order to contact me. And don't forget to visit our site. We've worked a lot and hard to make the site as useful as it could be, with clear navigation, with all the articles, all the webinars collected in one place. So use it. It's done for your convenience. And thank you very much for your attention, for your being really active today. And I hope that to see you in August. Now we're going to have a little webinar break. So next webinar is going to be at the end of August. So have great summer, have rest, find some inspiration for next year, and take care, of course. Thank you very much for being with me today and for finding time for your professional development. Again, have a really great summer, and see you in August.